Here we are, Delaware Ave. This is that, what's it called? Sitting on top of the rock. It's the Workers. And right there's the... I have this picture in my living room. I was always fascinated by the guy at the end holding a flask of whatever, just sitting there drinking 60, 70 stories in the air. And this is at a Halloween store for some reason. This is here. And this is the Masquerade Halloween store in South Philadelphia, right off of Washington Ave. It's open all year round. But this is I think this would be their busy season. All sales are final, no refunds, no exchanges. Oh, yo. You want to be a hit at the Philadelphia Eagles tailgate? You get yourself one of these. You could probably, if you have $100, you can get yourself a Barbera Bear costume. I think they sell it on Amazon. All right. Here it is, South Philadelphia. Did I mention we're going on the scoop? And today, we're going to go down South Street. Traffic was a nightmare because something's happening on South Street. We're going to see what that is. We're going to go to the historic district because we're going to have a government shutdown I think it starts in the middle of next week. And I'm going to show you everything that's going to be closed to tourists. It's pretty much everything except, maybe I'll do what I'll do. I'll show you what's open, what's going to be open during the government shutdown, which is going to affect a lot of the historic tourist attractions because the historic tourist attractions in Philadelphia are run by our federal government. This is Front Street. Philadelphia was founded, or the state of Pennsylvania was founded by a guy named William Penn. William Penn was a Quaker, and Quakers cannot name anything first. Nothing can be first but the Lord himself. So we don't have a First Street in Philadelphia. We have Front Street. Right here is the old Shot Tower. You ever come down South Philly and see this big tower on 95? So what they did back in the day is they would make musket bullets or little brown bullets. And they figured out if you build the tower yay high and drop a little drop of liquid, by the time it falls all the way to the bottom of the tower, it will harden up. And it's a quick way to make bullets. And that's why it's called the Shot Tower. There you go. Our Shot Tower was the first in the nation, built in 1808. It was built by a bishop, a Quaker. Wow. A lot of Quakers, well, there's not a lot of Quakers. Some Quakers are known to be pacifists. But during the Revolutionary War, a lot of Quakers, they were known as fighting Quakers because they believed in the War of Independence, because if they lost the War of Independence, they would have to go back to the Church of England. So if you want religion, you got to fight for it sometimes. And that's why there's some fighting Quakers. That's actually the University of Penn. Their mascot is the fighting Quaker. There you go. Little Quaker talk. Hashtag views. I smell it. People love the Quaker talk. Where are we at? Where the hell am I? Moya Missing in 2nd Street. Moya Missing. There's so many streets in the city of Philadelphia. There you go. And they all have like crazy names, and the names are mostly Native American, either Native American leaders or Native American words. Oh no. Oh no. You listen, yeah, you're destroying traffic. Get them. You got to do something. So in South Philadelphia, parking is pretty much impossible. So this guy has a permit to park his truck here, or a permit to park a truck across the street, but not here. So what he's doing is double parking, and he is destroying traffic you got about 3 blocks backed up this way. So the cops are telling him, listen, you can't do this. You got to move your truck. And that's one of the shit. That truck is almost full. So if I was the movers, I would just keep loading the truck while the cops were talking to the owner, just to save a few steps, because they're eventually going to have to move. But yeah, see, the traffic is destroyed. I want to thank all the Patreon people who came on the live stream today. I did a live stream earlier today just for the Patreon people. Also, the Patreon people got an early viewing of my new Camping with Captain videos. If you're a member of my Patreon, you get early previews with no commercials. No commercials. Yeah, you get it for a few days before I pop it on YouTube. So if you sign up for Patreon, it's anywhere from like, I think $1 to $10. You get there's different tiers. It's a very cool looking car. That's I like the rims. I wonder if it does the popping up and down thing like they do in the Cyper Hills video. I've never seen many cars do that. Oh, we got people out here. Philly AIDS Thrift. Right here. I think they're having their anniversary party very soon. Oh, we're dead. We're all dead. I always have an interesting survey, and here's the question. I'm getting married. Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. This is a very interesting thrift store. I highly recommend you check it out. They have a lot of CDs. They have some vinyl records. They have vintage clothing. They have goofy crap everywhere. And they also have loud music, so it's impossible to vlog it. Tonight I'm going to a haunted house somewhere in Feasterville. I don't care about Halloween. I don't like Halloween. I don't like being scared. I don't like death. I don't like looking at skeletons. Like a whole thing. By the way, I don't like traffic. Whenever's happening on South Street, it's just causing chaos and anarchy. Where do all the hippies meet? South Street. South Street. All right. Oh, we got. Uh-oh, red light. Can't go this way. What's this way? This kind of reminds me of when Howard Stern had his book signing on South Street. Howard had a book signing for his Miss America book. And, what happened to this car? And I remember I camped out in line for Howard's autograph for, I think 2 days in the snowstorm. Oh, we got skateboarders. Stunts. Stunts. I mean, not really. I mean, nobody's really doing stunts. They're trying stunts. Now, when I was driving down here, a lot of the streets blocked off for traffic because, whatever this is happening. A lot of people were wearing like the Lederhosers. Oh, hello, friend. A lot of people wearing Lederhosers, so I feel like this is an October thing, an Octoberfest in September. Look at this, old school, retro sports memorabilia. They got Grateful Dead memorabilia. They got people crossing in the middle of the street. It's very exciting. Everyone's talking about how this used to be Tower Records back in the day. Right here, Tower Records. A lot of Philly fans walking around. Philly's got a game. I think they got a game today. I'm not going. I'm done for the year until next game I go to. Well, I'm going to the interleague game on Wednesday. The Phillies are playing with themselves, and I'm going to be there to watch it. Man, look at the crowd. Big crowd here. It's the most people I've seen on South Street since I can remember. I can't remember. South Street used to be a real big happening spot. And then the rent went up real high, and then people just stopped renting stores. So there was really no reason to come down here because there weren't many stores open. There they are. Oh, get yourself a big glass of beer. You got to buy a coupon, right? Yeah, you got to buy a coupon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Octoberfest in September. It's like doing all the Halloween stuff in August. It doesn't make any sense, but man, it smells great. It smells like a church bazaar. You got sauerkraut and kielbasa. Oh, what's going on? Oh, there's another. This is Sherman Beer Hall. Look at the line. The line to get in. This guy, look at those pants. That's exciting. I gotta get the hell out of here. It's too crowded. I gotta say Auf Wiedersehen, or whatever the hell. How do you say goodbye in German? There you go. It is now a party. We got the German music. Oh, there's an accordion. Oh. I call this love-making music. Let's go. Let's go. What an exciting time to be alive. Where would you rather be than right here, right now? Well, me personally, I'm leaving. These people are in line for a coupon. If you haven't seen Ron White, you might not get that joke, but it's a great joke. It's a great joke. Coupon. That Ron White special, they call me tater salad, is probably, that's definitely his best special. It's very funny. Tater salad, Ron White. Full special, not just the tater salad story. The coupon story. Oh, this is open. This is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Last time I was here, there was a big barricade here, but it's open. Go right up to it. Maybe they were power washing or doing some cleaning up. There it is. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Right there. They found his body, I think, like over there on that street. And that's a statue of George Washington. If you notice right here, there's a little, the coloring of the back. Right here, this was all powered wash. And you can sort of see that there was writing. I think it said slave trader right next to George Washington. But that was like 2 years ago. So I thought maybe they were putting that up. They had a barricade up last time I was here, and I thought maybe that was there because of what happened a few years ago, which doesn't make sense. Here we are. What's going on, cuz? How you doing?
She said to me today, she goes, "Are you going to run into the Philly Captain?"
Of course you are. I'm like the Holy Spirit. I'm everywhere.
I'm the dude tattoos and reviewed at con.
Oh, yeah. How you doing, man? Traffic is just awful everywhere. Traffic is just awful everywhere. In Old City, South Street, Queens Village, there's another street blocked off. Now, whenever they have to replace an air conditioner on top of a building, like one of those big, whatever, those things up there, they have to get a crane, and for them to do that, they have to shut down the street. They have to pay for the crane. They have to pay to get the street closed down. They have to pay for the cops. Right here is this building called the Athenaeum. It's this real fancy library. This will be open during the government shutdown because it's privately owned. I've never gone in here. I would love to check this place out. It's like this real old library, and they have some cool statues in there, and there was a king, the King of Spain, Joseph Bonaparte, lived a few blocks from here. I just showed his house recently. When he lived in Philadelphia, he had a desk, and that desk is on display at this Athenaeum. This is a building back in up until the 1970s. If you got elected as a mayor, or if you had an office in the city of Philadelphia, you were given an old historic property, and you would just keep up on the house, and you would make sure it would, if there was any problems, you would get them fixed, or you would notify someone to get them fixed. This was the house of the former mayor of Philadelphia, Richard Dilworth. And in the 70s, they did this story for the, this area is called the Dilworth Collection. Yeah, okay, see, guys, Richard Dilworth right there. Oh, look at that, they added all the way on it. That's the original, the brick, and then they added all this shit. Holy God. Anyway, in the 70s, one of the newspaper store articles, one of the newspapers in the city came out with a story saying, like, government officials shouldn't be given free housing. So then the city just had people move out of the housing. And then the properties, like, kind of got run down. Back in the day, we didn't have street signs in America. We had street signs carved into the buildings. So that is something they do over in Europe. But then we said, you know what? It's kind of hard to read these things when you're driving down. Well, I guess they didn't have cars when they built this building. This is the old Walnut Street prison. The first balloon flight in the United States, hot air balloon flight, launched from the yard of this prison. So back here, shit, right into a puddle, not good. Right here, this is Independence Hall. Now, if there is a government shutdown on Wednesday, Independence Hall will be closed to the public, meaning tourists who come to Philadelphia to see the Liberty Bell and Independence Hall, they won't get access to either of them because they will both be closed. This museum here is called the American Philosophical Society, and I believe this will still be open if there's a government shutdown. But everything on this block, let's go, cuz. Everything on Chestnut Street. This is pretty much, this whole block was the United States government from 1790 to the 1800s. This building here was the original Supreme Court. The middle one's Independence Hall, the Senate and the Congress. That was all right there. And all of this will be closed if there's a government shutdown. That building over there is the Second Bank. It's usually closed anyway, but that's going to be closed for tourists. Now this is, they call this Independence Mall, this whole area. And if you go right here, right here, that's Independence Hall. That's where Ben Franklin and George Washington hung out with Nicolas Cage and did National Treasure stuff. You got over there, right here is the Liberty Bell, right over there. And then you got Independence Hall Visitor Center. All of that is run by the National Park Services. So all this will be closed. There are things that tourists can do. Like you can, like I don't necessarily need to go inside places. You can still see the Liberty Bell if you come here. There's this window. You just walk up to it. You go, I hate when there's people here. There you go. Hey, Liberty Bell, how you doing, hon? Listen, you might be closed on Wednesday. I don't know if you heard, so just, remember these times when people can come see you. All right, I'll talk to you later, hon. There's a lot of people staring at you. All right, sorry. All right. Yeah, definitely did the Liberty Bell bit with that many people. It's all right. Did you know I am the most patriotic YouTuber in the United States? There is not a YouTuber in America who has vlogged with the Liberty Bell as much as I have. It's a fact. Google it. I mean, don't Google it because I don't think it's real. I mean, I guess it is a fact. Oh, it's the religious thing they do every year. Here we go. Every year they do this thing at the First Amendment Plaza. I think it's called Jubilee. It's a religious thing. And they have people come here and pray. And it's 10 days right here at the First Amendment Plaza. And I think the services go on for 24 hours. Worthy is your name. Worthy is your name, Jesus. 10 days of that. Can't wait for come back and check on that every few days. And I will. And this here is the president's house. This is where George Washington and John Adams lived. Now, they are supposed to be doing some changes to this monument. Some of this monument talks about the slaves who lived on this property when George Washington was president of the United States. And they plan on taking down some of these plaques. There are movies right here that play on a pretty much a continuous loop talking about the slaves who lived here when George Washington was president of the United States. And I think first off, these TVs need to be updated. They're in horrible condition. But instead of replacing the TVs, I think they're just going to take them down. And then there's more works of art that talks about the slaves that lived here. And then, oh, you know what? I didn't really get a chance to document the slave quarters. Yeah, right down here, that's the foundation of the house where George Washington and John Adams lived when they were the president. Yeah, I did get a chance to film this, go back to the past to build the future. Because this was, last time I was here, it was nighttime.
Are you guys with the local time?
Either America will destroy ignorance or ignorance will destroy the United States. I think that's a pretty profound. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is the space where the slaves lived, where they lived with Washington, and they had this tiny, tiny space. And I really think the conversation of having with people, the guys in that building, they wrote all men are free and equal and yada, 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 but there were slaves in this building right here. And we're going to be taking down these monuments. And, like, I know the story, so I can tell the story, but people who come here in the future won't know the story. That's kind of weird. There's a great movie about a slave named Oni Judge. A woman named Slave. She was more than, she was a human being. Anyway, Oni Judge escaped being a slave of George Washington. And they talk about how she fled, and how even after she was free, even after she ran away, the president chased her until the day he died. And I don't think a lot of people know that story. And it's a very interesting story. It's an honest story about America. And I think it's a good conversation to have, because you can't learn from mistakes if you don't know the mistakes happen. Although people should know slavery happened. Right here is the what's it called? The National Museum of American Jewish History. There was a large Israeli flag here, and that was spray painted and vandalized. And then there was the O statue's gone. Where did the O statue go? This is a free museum. You can go in there and check it out. That will be open if there is a government shutdown. Over there, Saxophone Man. Wow, Saxophone Man's usually over here. Huh? Yeah, so they're building this new bike lane on Market Street that's going to be coexisting with the pavement. And it's making traffic a nightmare on Market Street. I think for another 30 days it's going to be kind of bad. You can't go towards City Hall. You have to go this way. Oh, here we go. Here's another thing, cuz listen. All this is gone. Well, did they shut down the post office? I don't know if they shut down the post office. I think the post office has to stay open. But this is Ben Franklin. Well, it's not his actual print shop, but this is a print shop. Like, if Ben Franklin had a print shop, it would be run like this. This is one of the oldest post offices in the United States. This is the Be Free post office. When Ben Franklin was the Postmaster General of the United States, he worked out of this post office, and Ben Franklin designed this tunnel. Right now, we're walking through a tunnel. Well, I'm walking through a tunnel. You're probably sitting on your couch watching, but I'm walking through this tunnel. And this is where Ben Franklin designed this tunnel, because his house is right here, his ghost house. And this is where Ben Franklin lived near the end of his life. Now, this first property we're coming up to is Ben Franklin's son-in-law's stable, right? And he had a print shop right there. And then you go here, this property, this is the ghost house of Ben Franklin. And I think, you know what I might do? They installed a bunch of these new signs all around the historic district. So what I might do this week, is do these signs and do a little bit of a history tour. Back in the day, they didn't have indoor plumbing. They had a thing called privy pits. And so what you would do is you would take your pee-pee and poo-poo and you would throw it down the privy pit. I haven't showed this in a while. But ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to show you is American history. This is Ben Franklin's toilet. That's Ben Franklin's privy pit right there. And right here is the Ben Franklin Museum. It's $5. It's fine. It's worth $5. Oh, that will be closed. I don't think we'll be able to have access to this area if the government's closed. We might. I don't think so. The gift shop over here will be closed. We did a government shutdown, I think, back in 2019. That's when I was first starting doing my YouTube thing. And I went around looking for stuff that was open. Like, what the hell can you do with the government not open? And that was the first time I ever went into Carpenters Hall. And that is this building right here, Carpenters Hall. This will be open if there's a government shutdown. Carpenters Hall is that raindrops? Uh-oh, that's not. Raindrops and scooters don't go together. Anyway, this is the meeting place of the First Continental Congress. This is where Ben Franklin and was Ben Franklin part of the First Continental Congress? I don't think he was. John Adams, Henry Lee, George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, they all went in there and they got together because the King of England was doing these unfair taxes. So they wrote the letter to the King of England saying, yo, you got to stop it with the taxes or something bad's going to happen. And then they mailed that letter to the King of England. And I think he just threw it out. And then we went to war. Not Henry Lee. What was the guy's name? Patrick Henry was a guy who gave a speech in this building. And he were talking about the colonies. They were talking about the colonies. And he was like, you know, we talk about the colonies, but guess what I talk about? The United States. Because we are a United States. Or we are United States for a common cause to stop the tyranny of the king and to fight for our independence. We are all one. Fuck. So I wish we all believed that today. There you go, Carpenters Hall. You can go in there. Go in there. You tell them you know the Philly captain, and they'll go. Okay. I actually ran into two viewers at Washington Square. The guy, I think his name is Tattoo and Review, and he said, I am down here because of watching your videos. I'm exploring and checking out this area. And I'm like, dude, that is fucking awesome. That makes me so happy. Uh-oh. Yeah, I love that. It's so cool. It's like a lot of people from Philadelphia, they don't come to this area except for the second grade when you come here for a school trip. You go to the Liberty Bell and you go to Independence Hall. And I don't know about you, but in second grade, I don't understand the Battle of Independence. I don't understand the freedom of religion. I didn't really understand what was going on. Hey, I got that dog sticking out of the car. And so it didn't have an impact for me. I honestly didn't fall in love with the history of Independence Hall and all that stuff until like the pandemic. I was like, I kind of understood Ben Franklin lived here, but I just never really understood how significant he was. I didn't become a history dork until COVID. Right here is one of my favorite streets. I can't tell you that. I think it's 5th Street, or 6th Street. Oh, it's 3rd Street. It doesn't matter. It's one of my favorite streets. Can't tell you the name of it. John Penn, who was the grandson of William Penn. He lived here. And also, George Washington, he spent the night here one time. And then right here is the Pale House. And it was probably in this house is where Elizabeth Pale, who was the wife of Samuel Pale, who was the mayor of Philadelphia back during the Revolutionary War times. So when George Washington was the president of the United States, this is where the mayor of Philadelphia lived. One of the things that I get off on, and not get off on like a kinky way, but it gets me, like, I kind of like looking at things that historic, significant people touched. And one of the things that get me excited are these old steps in Philadelphia. And you can see this one. These are really old, weathered down. And, George Washington walked on these steps. Ben Franklin's daughter danced with George Washington in that room for George and Martha's 25th wedding anniversary. The keyhole, look how awesome the keyhole is to this building. And then you also got the knocker that says Pal still. You can take tours in here every so often. Sometimes it's open. But they also rent out this space for catering parties right here. So this is what they're doing today, is they're renting out the backyard for a catering party. Or, a wedding party or whatever the hell they're doing in there. Yeah, but I love the old steps. There's a cornerstone not too far from here, and in that cornerstone is it's the cornerstone to Pennsylvania Hospital. And Ben Franklin laid that cornerstone with his own hands. Like he placed that in place. And that holds up a building that's still open where people still do medical things. Ben Franklin was part of it. There's so much Ben Franklin in Philadelphia. The first insurance companies, the fire insurance companies, the libraries, everything. Ben Franklin, very, very significant. I guess we know that, though. That's why there's a PBS Ken Burns documentary. Is there a Ken Burns? I know there's a PBS documentary about Ben Franklin. Man full of trouble, that little building. This is an old style tavern that just reopened, and it was a tavern that Ben Franklin, or the founding fathers, I don't know if Ben Franklin drank in there. I think Ben Franklin was more of a I think he likes the ladies more than he liked the booze, but he did like the booze. If you go into the old city area, they have postcards, or not postcards, I think it's books, and one of the books is about Ben Franklin quotes. And one of the quotes is, beer is proof that God loves us. And then there's another one, my favorite one of his is, visitors are a lot like fish. They both stink after 3 days. I kind of like that. All right, we'll just do a quick little zippity-doo-dah. On this end of South Street, we got right here. You ever see the TV show Bar Rescue? Season 1, he tried to fix Daly's, and Daly's Pub, knocked down because they tore it down. Bar was not rescued. John Taffer rescued, I think, 2 bars on South Street, and both of them were sold or closed within a year. That's right. I forgot how crowded it was. This doesn't feel German Fest. This feels like Fantasyland going on here. What's going on? We got... Yeah, I feel like this is definitely not... Like, this lady has horns. Oh, my God.
Battle Royale match for the Universal Championship! Now then, this will work like a standard match. Punters will start with 5 seconds. We'll get a topic from the audience. And after the first person to start, D&D is the topic, D&D is the topic. 5 seconds on the clock. First one goes to Quentin.
I'm already barred of this.
Free prizes. Free prizes.
So, anyone's favorite Star Wars movie, Rogue One? This topic is asking for war. Lock everyone up.
All right, so I think we're leaving the Renaissance Fair. Right here is Paddy Wax. It's an Irish pub. We got a band here. We're going to go this way. We're going to go to the car because I have to pick up the kids. Well, it's nice that I don't know. I kind of like the whole street fair, bringing people to South Street. That's definitely the most people I've seen on South Street in decades. But that's nice. That's good. I like that. Yeah, that Renaissance Fair thing. I don't know. They always make me uncomfortable because the lady's got the boobs sticking out. And I have this thing where I don't want to get caught looking at boobs. So whenever women have their boobs sticking out, I always I don't look at them. So I don't know if you ever have that problem. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, so there was a lot of boobs and stuff. So I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. Not that I was staring at boobs. I just don't want to stare at boobs. So just letting you know why I left. Yo, Ma! Vicky's afraid of boobs. Look at this street. No parking. Quaint, quiet, peaceful. This will not be affected by the government shutdown. This street. There he is. No Hands Harry going for a bike ride. And we did it. I think we did our little scoot. We had some fun. We saw some stuff. We did Octoberfest and a Renaissance Fair. Plus, we saw the Liberty Bell. That's too much action. Too much action for one vlog. But you know what it does? Lately, the vlog, I gotta tell you, the vlogs have been a little angry because of my car broken into and all that stuff. So at least this, you know, I love my city. I love the events. I don't like girls with the cleavage hanging. I mean, I like the cleavage hanging out. I just can't look at you. So, you know, maybe everybody should wear turtlenecks. Loose-fitting turtlenecks and very baggy sweatpants. And I think the world would be a better place. Thank you. Again, I don't stare at the women. I just don't want to stare at the women. So I'm not a creep. I want to make that clear. I'm not a creep. I just don't want to be a creep. Over there is Shot Tower. History made there. I feel like I did something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't stare at any of the chubby chick's boobs. Oh, did I call? Oh, boy. Well, listen. If you sign up for Patreon, you can see the live stream I did today. You could also check out Camping with Captain. I think it's going to drop on Monday or Tuesday. The Phillies, the playoffs are next week or something like that, so make sure you hit subscribe. And if you're not, if you think you're subscribed, do me a favor, double check. Sometimes YouTube does this thing and makes you unsubscribe. And I've mentioned this in the last few videos, and I've noticed I've gotten a lot of subscribers. So please subscribe. And if you want to book me on Cameo, I can wish you a happy Halloween, a happy Thanksgiving, a happy Red October. I could make fun of your Cowboys friends, your friends who like the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that's it. And book me on Cameo. I did that, right? Patreon, Cameo. And merchandise. Check out the shirts at Spread Shop. Plenty of places sell my merch. I've had companies I sold merch with before. They won't stop selling my merch, but the one I make money off of now is Spread Shop, so make sure you check that out. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I'll say I'll wait you later. Toodles!